What's good, my G's? So I've been in the game for about 10 years now, and I've never heard anyone talk about this, but you guys have seen it. When you're out and about, maybe you're at a bar, at a lounge, maybe you're at the mall or at the gym, and maybe you see two different girls in that same vicinity that you find attractive and you want to pull up on them, right? Maybe you decide you want to pull up on one, maybe it's both, or maybe it's none of them if you're a pussy. But this channel ain't about pussy shit, so realistically, you're probably going to be pulling up on one or two of them. Now, what's the best strategy? How do you go about this? Who do you pull up on first? How do you do it? So what I'm going to tell you is a little bit of a story, and then I'll break down how this all kind of ties in, right? So the other day, I was at the mall, and I see one girl who's with like 7 grandmas, bro. She's with her whole damn family, and they're walking like snails, right? They're like super fucking slow. But then I noticed about maybe 20, 30 feet ahead of her, there's another girl that's super, super bad, and she's with her mom. Now, they're walking at a normal pace. So I had to make a decision where I said, okay, both of these girls I find attractive, and I want to see what's up with both of them and see if they're a good fit for me in my life. So what would I do here, right? Now, and I thought about this because at first I was going to go for the girl who was in the back with the 7 grandmas, but I realized if I pulled up on her first, the other girl that was with her mom that was ahead of her would have walked away and I would have never seen her again. And this is very common when you're going out and doing cold approaches. You literally have 3 seconds to pull up on a girl when you see her, because if you don't, they're gonna turn a corner, they're gonna dip somewhere, you're gonna blink and literally never see them again. So there's also an expression that maybe you guys have heard of it in the game where it's like, if you don't, or if you hesitate, you masturbate, which is true. So in this scenario, going back to the girls with the grandma and shit, right? So I see homegirl, she's got the 7 grandmas. I see the other girl who's ahead of her. So I said to myself, you know what? I'm actually going to approach the girl in the front and see if I could do it in a way to where the girl in the back with her grandmas and shit doesn't see me. And the best way to go about this is if you guys do have 2 women in the same vicinity, try to approach these women in a way to where their like line of sight doesn't cross. So like, let's say you're at a restaurant, you're at a lounge or something, and you see one girl at like a corner of the bar, and then the other girl's like sitting at a table, right? A great thing to do would be to talk to the girl who's sitting down in the booth, but have your back turned towards the bar so the other girl doesn't really see what's going on or doesn't see your face. Because if she can see your face and you're clearly talking to a girl, she can register that, okay, this guy is hitting on this girl, and then right after he comes up to me, she's gonna like either immediately blow you out, unless the last interaction went really well and she saw signs of interest from the girl, then she may be more receptive, right? This is pre-selection. However, in Latin America, which I live in Colombia, if you can't tell my videos and stuff, a lot of times they absolutely hate pre-selection, and they don't like men who are dogs, as they call them, right? And this is because most Colombian men who date Colombian women, they are most of the time cheating on their partners. So when they see a guy who's a player or, you know, actively running game, they're kind of put off by it. So in this scenario, once again, going back, I pull up on the girl who's in the front. Now I do it in a way where I'm strategically placing my back towards the girl and her path when she's walking. So that way I can talk to the girl, we hit it off, we get the Instagram, we swapped, everything went perfectly fine. And as that interaction finished, because they were walking like goddamn snails, I look over and I can just see her about like 100 feet away. So I say, perfect. So I walk up to her, pulled up, ran the approach, hit it off with her as well, got the contact info, and now we have a date for tomorrow, actually. So this video, I just want to show you guys that there's strategic ways to go about approaching women who are in the same environment. And a lot of times you can use pre-selection to your favor, but you have to understand, number one, the culture that you're in, and number two, the type of girl that you're dealing with, because some women will be cool with seeing other women show you signs of interest, because then for her, it's going to register in her mind and say, okay, well, if other women who are also attractive like me find him interesting, then I should subconsciously also find him interesting as well, right? And that will pique her interest and raise attraction. But if you're in Colombia or one of these countries where they're very traditional, not really into men who are super forward or potentially, players and shit like that, right? Then you have to understand sometimes it's best not to emphasize the pre-selection traits too much, because you might blow yourself out of the sets, right? So keep that in mind. Also, when you're in these venues, bro, just pull up on both of them. Because at the end of the day, if it doesn't go well with one of the girls, it might go really well with the next girl, right? You never know. And you never want to psych yourself out when you find women attractive. You want to train your brain to allow yourself to go up to these women and see what can happen. Because if you're shooting yourself in the foot, if you're putting limiting beliefs, if you are holding yourself back from going for what you want in life, then what's going to happen is other things that show up, opportunities, jobs, money, other women throwing themselves at you, you're going to hesitate. And as I mentioned before, if you hesitate, you masturbate. So that's the video. Like and subscribe, do all that fun YouTube shit. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.